Hello, this is Caleb Weaver, and in this video, I'm going to be discussing Chapter 10 of Business Communications and discussing specifically Hugh Rank's theory of persuasion. And I'm going to blow up real fast a picture of the illustrated outline that he lays out. And so, Hugh Rank is a theorist that kind of proposes this idea of how to persuade others, and it really helps people trying to persuade a product, persuade a speech, persuade anything, trying to get someone else to do something for them. And this outline kind of shows that. And so it's a very simple concept, and it happens in a day-to-day life. It happens in normal conversation. It happens in marketing and advertisements that you see every day. And so the way he kind of laid it out shows what's going on and shows how these businesses and how people trying to persuade other people can best do it. And so it's a very, very simple outline, and basically all that's going on in it is the persuader is intensifying and they're emphasizing their strong points, the things that make them very great, and then they emphasize the weaknesses of the opponent, so the person that's very closely related to the product or very closely related to what you want, so your biggest competitor. And so you emphasize their weaknesses, and then following, you downplay your weaknesses, and then you downplay the strengths of the others. And so really it's just showing what you're really good at, what your product or what you're saying kind of brings benefits, and then showing the opponent's benefits as very low, and showing your weaknesses or the things that kind of bring you down very low, because there are always going to be weaknesses to a product or weaknesses to what you are trying to communicate, but you need to downplay that and show the audience what you're persuading of is really worth everything that you're saying it is worth. And so the way this happens, it happens through like 4 different strategies. It happens through intensifying your own good points, and then intensifying weak points of the opposer, and then downplaying, and then downplaying. And so just that happens a lot. And it's very easy to understand knowing that emphasize, emphasize, downplay, downplay. And so that's just an easy way of remembering it, and it just shows that Hugh Rank's model really does work. And you can see it all throughout life. You can see it in advertisements every day. And so some ways that you can best intensify or you can best emphasize your good points are by repetition and by association, bringing thoughts to your product, bringing positive ideas to it, and by repeating it over and over and over. And so like you see in commercials where they'll be repeating something over and over, and it gets stuck in your head, and that just really shows that, hey, these are good points, emphasizing, hey, this is a good point. And so as you can kind of see throughout the video, I've said kind of the same thing multiple times, unintentionally or intentionally, but yes, it really emphasizes and shows that these are important and they are good steps. So that showed a little bit of how you can emphasize or intensify the first part, and then it goes into the downplaying side, which is some tactics that you can use by downplaying are simple omission, means like taking out all the negative, taking out the parts that maybe bring your product down or bring what you're saying down, and so you can omit those. Or you can use diversion, which is just basically you're creating a distraction or a focus on the weak point, but you're diverting it and you're changing that focus from the weak point onto something else. And so that happens in conversation when people are pointing out a flaw in you. You maybe divert it. You maybe change the subject. So there's a small example of that. And then in confusion, you can create confusion as a way to kind of get out of the situation, get away from the negative points of your product or the strengths of the other person's product. And so you can kind of create confusion and make sure that they don't recognize that these points may be weak about what you're trying to say. And so really you just want to impact and intensify and emphasize the good points of you. and you want to emphasize and intensify the bad points of your opposing person. And so you will downplay. And so you're going to downplay your weaknesses. You're not going to let them see it. So whether you're omitting it or diverting it or making confusion, you're going to downplay the weaknesses of you, and then you're going to downplay the strengths of people. You're going to make sure that they don't recognize the strengths of the opposer. And so, like I said, this happens all of the time. You can see it in marketing pictures, you can see it in advertisements, and you can see it through speeches and through product releases. And so, like, for an example, if Apple comes out with a product and Apple is releasing this product, they will show, hey, this is why it's better than Android. This is why this product, so say here, my iPhone, the iPhone is greater than the newest Android because of these points. And so you can see that in new product releases. You can see that in commercials. I'm going to blow up a picture really fast right here. And as you can see in this picture, that they are emphasizing their good points. And then also from this ad, you can see that they are omitting the good parts of other companies. They aren't even mentioning them. They are making sure that they don't show their own weaknesses, so they only review the good parts of this product. So in the picture you can see that only the great parts and the cool aspects of this product are shown. And so as you can see, Hugh Rank's persuasion model is used every day. It's used all of the time. And maybe consciously or subconsciously, these companies are using it. But this kind of model of persuasion definitely shows that persuasion can be done effectively, and it shows just a very good way of how it can be done and how it can be held out. And so I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned a little bit about the theorist Hugh Rank, and you learned the persuasion model presented in Chapter 10. Thank you.